This does seem like it's over, though. That AK-47 needs to put up so much. There isn't a grenade, there isn't a Molotov, there's nothing to make him stop. And as he peeks out, he's caught out, Binted alone. A CZ in his hand, and it's not from 2014. So getting this 1v4 is nigh impossible. As he creeps through, it's Crims again to find him, overcome him, and finish them off 16-9 on Extremum's map pick. A tale that we had painted to be a potential 2-0 is suddenly looking very much like fnatic might be favored. Whether or not they can pull through, though, is yet to be seen. We'll find out after a short break as Train comes up next. And we're back. Somehow or the other, the team against the rope is not one which is Swedish. It is indeed EXTREMUM, having lost out their own map pick in a first victory on Vertigo for fnatic in the past 3 months, and a pretty convincing one at that. They had some struggles on their T side, some teething issues, sure, but they're able to close things out, 16-9. Now we head into fnatic's map pick. Now we head into their T side of Train, and now we head into seeing whether or not they can close it out in 2. Michael, Yumi, Cassidy on the microphone with me as always. I am T-Tam, and it's time to see what this pistol round has in store for us.
Yeah, smoke flash combo here for fnatic as well. That's likely to sail in deep. The smoke's already sailed in, so they're looking to pull the pin on this rather early on. That smoke isn't going to prompt any real additional rotations, but that nade is going to be a sitter.
Oh, that's a big shot as well to follow up. Granite's faction, flashbang as well to peek out. Azur's good for another one, but Brolin still responding. Binted fighting away. They've got 2 players still on this B bomb site, and JW is coming in on the flank. He has, of course, gotten that 1 kill, so they are aware of his position, but now the T side is hunting. They're hunting for both Pop Dog and Coltrane. Bintet to fall. Brolin barely misses the timing. That should be the round. Now JW alone has to pull out 4 to get it all sorted. The bomb is reachable. It's recoverable, but not easily. There's 2 players up on highway, and this is not an easy angle to peek. He is moving forward, sees the first, heals the first, dropping down, but Jacob catches him right as he's about to fall. First round on the board for EXTREMUM, even if it does come off the back of what looked like a little bit of dainty timing.
Yeah, it looked really, really awkward as well. The fact that Broline gets backstabbed in that manner, where it could have been far more isolated duels, and JW could have been more threatening on the flank. I don't know what it is about Azur, by the way, but he seems to get these sort of clean drive-bys as he's transitioning into or in or away from bomb sites so far in these CT side pistol rounds. But hey, it works out wonderfully for them. The timing on that nade as well from Grat on the money. So fnatic, they don't get too much going. Come in with some pistols. Not opting for the force, in spite of the fact they didn't get the plant down. Just up over towards Ivy. Liaz. A little bit scary. Smoke redeployed. Jakino trying to close that distance. It's significant damage, but he's actually been able to get away. 9 HP remains on him, but he'll have to give up Ivy if he wants to be a bit more conservative about his potential survival in this round.
They come. Oh, there goes JW. Jacob's looking for more. Good damage on the Crims as well, so just keeping the damage from the terrorist side as low as he can. Those weapons, well, you really want to take forward overhead. Interestingly enough, fnatic have not been actually forced buying too often in these tricky situations. I'm not sure if you know about this, Michael, but is that just a general tendency? I'm not 100% sure about this.
Yeah,
they're not getting armor.
It's one of those things as well where I do feel like it's probably underexplored. I don't know too much. I think, of course, there's been some decent amount of sort of time periods between their officials, but it likely leans as well to a faster play in the first gun round.
Well, that's another quick kill to come through. Suddenly damage a lot more. Those M4s and pharmacies that have been dropped over can't be recovered either. So actually a very successful round coming through from fnatic, even if you consider that they only got 2 kills. Both of those are the rifles.
Well, a buy should come out here for fnatic. A lot of AKs across the board. So there's a few options here, and I anticipate rather that they're going to try and take a lot more sort of straight up gunfights. They'll use utility more as a distraction as opposed to supplementing the push. When you think about how Vertigo was going and how they were out dueling them very often, feels like something that could carry over into Train, no doubt. Broland first to face, and it's back past the Molotov where Azur's plucked out.
They come. As there's 2 players who've crossed back now. JW still over in Pop Dog. Smoked off completely. Here comes the execute from fnatic, though. Or does it? No, they're moving back. They're recontemplating, and it could be Crims to find a kill. Bintet, though, with only his hand exposed, will have a bloody arm, but not a bloody head. Meanwhile, Golden's on the flank.
I can't tell if this is Roland. Isn't his teammate like right below him? Are they trying to fake out that they don't have Pop Dog control? Seemed a bit confused, but
Is Golden a Mycon? Well, that might just be Swedish for Golden. Not sure. Regardless, Gratisfaction peeks forward, gets one, looks for two. There you have it. MP9 mobility is what nets him those. Bomb is recovered, sure, but with Golden's demise on the other side. fnatic don't really seem to have much of a chance over here. Smoke goes out. Crims will need to quickly swipe past and find Grat. Grat, however, isn't done with his MP9 shenanigans. He's got 4.
Wow, okay. Wasn't expecting as much production as that from the MP9, but he stays close that entire way through, and fnatic are so concerned about these deeper fights that Grat's able to get away with absolutely tearing them to shreds on this B site. I mean, catching a nade out, the double is fantastic, but then just not able to pinpoint where he'd quite gone off to. Player that you'd highlighted for as being a little bit absent on the first map, even in spite of EXTREMUM coming back, making it a lot more competitive. Just to see if they can bounce back in this secondary map.
Again, man, fnatic just not getting armor on a single player. Well, actually on 2 players, but like, I'm surprised that you don't just go for more. It's not a map where you're likely to opt too much on the T side as well, so... Well, for now, Brolin moves past. AK picked up. He's got armor as well. He's one of the big ones now. Will need to flick. Sees the player. Adjustment is great. Brolin gets it done. And in the meanwhile, Chiquinho's used that as a distraction to walk out from Pop Dog and find another. Suddenly a 4v2. The worst possible round to give up for EXTREMUM would be over here. But as the peaks are coming through, more damage is dealt, but not enough to bring down Grat, who's still alive and kicking. Pushing forward, making lots of noise. Brolin peeks out. Brolin's got it, but Chiquinho is the one to steal it away from him. That Tech 9 has been equally deadly as an AK. Bintet alone, a 1-on-3. All 3 players very susceptible to the MP9. No head armor on anyone. As he's creeping past, he sees the feet. Chiquinho's down. This bomb, it can't be defused.
Yeah. Brolin with the backstab as well. The triple peek there onto Gratisfaction is so well done as well from fnatic. They throw the Molotov connector. They can audibly see that Bintet is rotating away from the flames, so they take that opportunity to isolate a gunfight. Where Grat was making a lot of noise in his progress. Really solidly done there from fnatic, where they shouldn't have really had too much stock in the round. It was only those upgraded pistols, only a couple bits of armor invested into it. Now we'll get that AWP in Gratisfaction's hands.
Oh, quickly down Pop Dog once again. They've got themselves the first kill. Jacob caught in between 2. And that'll be his demise. He does well even to find 1. A player in Ivy isolated. That's Liaz, who just can't assist his teammates in any way. The flank attempt coming in from Gratisfaction. No, not Gratisfaction. In fact, Bintet could be important. Grat, though, playing from Old Train. Gets himself 1. Bintet, the flank. They're waiting for him to come through, but they don't have any hits on any of them. This is taking so much time, and the trade is big. Gratisfaction position is known. Trim speaks out, gets the shot, and now Bintet's the only player they have left to deal with. He once again just doesn't have the time, and JW shuts him down.
Yeah, you could see they really wanted to wait for that, but realizing as well that it would take too long, they had to make some individual plays themselves, only for it to work against them. And by the time he's in position, everybody's dead, and they've read into it. Now it's a reset territory here for EXTREMUM. That CT side has run out of cash. Now an opportunity as well for fnatic to weasel their way into the lead. AWP in Chiquinho's hands. Not going to have a spawn for the peak. That nade. Oh, that is about as near perfect as it gets.
That is a chunky boy. Brolin. Finish it off, Brolin. Yeah. Finish what you started. You know, just pop a wall bang. Peeking out, sees them now backing. Oh, come on, bro. You know you want to. Molotov
util kill
goes out. Nah, man.
That wants nothing to do with it. Get those flames away from me. That's a panic from him running, not putting out the flames. Nowhere near.
He knows. He knows. Actually, you know, blowing on a flame just makes it come to you. Much like
Oh.
many other things in life. Oh,
Awkward exchange. Yeah, he's doing a good job of prompting out a lot of util.
I feel like it's more like, you know, you take a ravenous rabbit and you let it loose in a minefield. Go around, see what pops.
Well, the rabbits have all routed over to B, and, well, wrong site.
Indeed. Maybe they just want some privacy. You know what rabbits are like. 20 seconds left, though, and fnatic aren't going to rabbit it up. JW coming in from the side, sees a few of these players, not quite the cleanest on the spray, and as they're pushing through, he still can't get it done. Finally, collects his eco frags. He's been waiting to cash that check for a while. Will finally be able to get it done. Bureaucracy and red tape's a nightmare, Michael. Telling you.
Yeah, hop, skip, and a jump straight into death. Tried to jump over the crosshairs, and it didn't seem to matter.
That's a terrible hop, skip, and a jump. I'm just saying.
Listen, man.
Yeah, have you ever had the old
okay.
before you leave? I feel like this is a chase down. There's no way they let him get away with this one. Yeah, Golden just hunts him down, takes him away. Third round on the board for Fnatic, and they
lost
equalize.
it.
That's all right. He just got 10K.
He has got 10K, but I mean that's still a lot of money. That's
true.
just been lost.
But at the same time, you know, you had EXTREMUM in the previous game losing a defuse kit underneath the box. I feel like some karma goes the other way as well.
They still won that round, so I mean, you know.
Fnatic also won this.
Yeah,
round,
I guess it all works out in its own sort of twisted way. Well, no kits here for the EXTREMUM side, so if they do lose one of these bomb sites, keep an eye on that time. Fnatic have been playing the rounds out fairly slowly, but they've been getting some bursts of excitement as well. You know, we've seen some opportunities being presented, some on these defaults as well, fancying a peak or two. I think a little bit unsure about whether the AWP could have been brought forward here for EXTREMUM, so not going for any of those egregious peaks. AW just running distraction. Those team are grouped up in the brown holes, and I don't know that EXTREMUM are going to be all the wiser. That deep smoke from outside of Team A is going to keep them guessing, but Gratisfaction holding his own.
Grab has to step up over here. We can't quite find the kill inside the smoke, and the Molotov forces it back into Crimson's crosshair. Bintet, though, sees the feet, and he knows where there's feet, there's body. It's a counter version of where there's smoke, there's fire, but now JW firing back onto the A-bomb site. A 3-on-4, so he needs to find himself a quick kill if it's possible. A flashbang will be sent out to try and help him do just that, but the bomb is being prioritized for now. JW adjusts, but not in time. Lia's good for the kill, and Jaquinho and Brolan have to defend. Jaquinho quite far away. Brolan's all alone, and now in a 1-on-4. Jaquinho, the AWPer, has to step up, but the flashbang completely catches him out, and he's given up the round. Time to say goodbye. And that's what Jaquinho does. Can I just say, that smoke from JW, Michael, for the backup Z, it's really nice, but you know what the worst thing about it is?
What?
He probably spent like half an hour trying to find the exact lineup last night, and then he sees the Bats notes and is like, ancient sin, guys.
First off, that seemed like a pretty easy lineup to know.
Yeah, but it's
I
true,
see where you're
isn't
going with it. We're going to have to hold these memories dear.
Indeed.
She won't be with us for much longer. Well, to be fair,
hopefully.
You know, they are a marketable habit. Yeah, there's some solace in that.
Yeah. Plus, not to mention, I'm not sure, but it is... Okay. That's the full utility kill we've been looking for, Michael.
Yeah, Berlin's been nesting away in that corner a couple of times, so finally punished for it. Golden's trying to hold on to team main control, and he successfully does so. Jacob looked like he had the advantage in the fight. Golden wasn't all too prepared. So back to an equal exchange. 4-on-4. Ivy has been left somewhat unchecked. Liaz is still holding for it, but he's in a very exposed position in doing so there's a lot more he has to be concerned about. That
smoke's going to block him off as well. He's not going to be able to see behind it as two unless he pushes forward much more. But no, JW's dropped in. He's dodged it. Initially, JW's bobbing and weaving. He's weaving and bobbing. There's nothing. And in the meanwhile, Crims has used the chaos to find one over towards B. He's been so good about isolating that B side duel and winning it. Now, complete possession of the B bomb site, but these T's aren't done yet. Gratisfaction is able to pick one more off. Jaquinho, though, won't be expected. He's not been playing this angle too often. Comes through with one, repeats for more, but it's Liaz to shut him down. Back to a 2-on-2.
Ready for the flank, though. You can see that Crims is holding for it. Deeper angle, so Azur's not going to be able to read into it. And it's a 1-on-2 that Liaz taps out of. Focusing on that AWP that was threatening the back lines of EXTREMUM, sorry. And it'll be a 4th added to the tally. fnatic kind of making their way out of this one, in spite of the fact that there was that full util kill. EXTREMUM wanted a bit more control, and it ended up working against them. And you're right, that beat bomb site.
AWP.
I'm sorry?
At least they're able to save the AWP on Liaz. You know, there's still some hope, but you know, you were saying the B bomb side definitely. Crims has been doing quite well over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think initial contact has been pretty successful when Gratisfaction hasn't been alongside Bentet.
With an MP9.
Whether it's an MP9 or sitting in the middle of the trains. I think Grat's been doing a fairly good job in that respect.
Yeah. He's really leveled up from the previous game, that's for sure. Grat, though, getting very aggressive this time early on. He does know there's a player close by, and that is his cue to run the hell away. Want to be taking any of those duels.
Yeah, Scope knows made as well, so they were aware that he was round the other side. Golden, sneaky boy.
He often is, isn't he? Roland, though, he himself is trying a little bit of this sneaky peeky. As caught with his back turned. Brought down initially. Brolin peeking in long range against the Deagle. Never a great idea, but Jaquinho. He's so surprised, and why wouldn't he be? Bintet now peeks into him. Jaquinho can't adjust in time. Golden, the sneak has now been caught out. Jacob getting a tag onto him as well. JW keeps it an equal affair, but Bintet with the AK, his position is so important. JW is trying to isolate it out and bring the rifle back out of his hands, but just doesn't seem possible to do so. Jacob's pushed through. Golden is expecting it. Will not get the kill, though. Jacob, with damage already dealt, only needed a body shot, and that's exactly what he finds.
Okay, I'm a little worried here. EXTREMUM, this is a solid round so far, but look at JW's position. He can completely segment, potentially flank out towards B. You can see that they're somewhat aware of it. Gratisfaction recognizing that Ivy's been exposed for such a long period of time, but JW has firm control of this bomb site, knows that there's nobody on it. Still looking for more as well, but it's all going to come down to the timings, whether Bentet even goes for the peak. Time is running low here for fnatic.
Grat's checked it as well. They're not going to go for this now. JW inside close has made a lot of noise. They have to go for the bomb plant. Crims has gone down. JW gets himself another one, turns around for more, sees the head, can't connect. Jacob with 3. Gets it all done, and it looked like the aim punch should have been enough for him to get that kill, but Jacob quickly ducks away. Hides his body, hides his life, and that's what saves him.
Can we just say, madman maneuver from Bentet?
Yeah, for sure. Just the jump across is ridiculous.
Yeah, you could see, we were watching Jaquinho, and he just, from the side of his scope, all of a sudden there's a flying Bentet, and he can't help his teammate.
Yeah.
That's really what secured the round as well. He gets that double kill. Thought it was going to be a one and done, but the recovered AK just working in their favor. And that's a bounce back round where you didn't even come with a heavy investment on that CT side. Now you've got another notch added to the belt.
Ooh.
Jacob going for a very fast peek off the double drop. And they're actually holding on to it. Faster play in from fnatic, though. Trades galore in their favor. And Grat's there with the ult. 2-on-2.
Great flick from Grat. And now as they start to lead back into things, flashbang coming out as well. You know, he wants to peek out from behind, but it's actually for Bintet to come through. And now comes a slowdown. Now it's time for Crims and Brolin to try and play around each other. Any sort of information, a scope, a footstep, a beetle. Anything that'll betray them.
No utility for this either.
None at all, and that's where Brolin will suffer. They can't block off connector. Crims is good for 1. Does he know where the second is? He's jumping across. He spotted him out, and now has to go back to recover the bomb. But he can't cross without considering the scope beast that is Gratisfaction. The mustached master, and he's jumping across, but Grat will adjust in time, and a swift exchange still lends its way to EXTREMUM when things finally slow down. 6th round secured for the Aussies.
Man, I just wasn't expecting Grat to be so on the money with that one as well. The timing to push through in the 1v1, and the fact that fnatic go for this faster pace, that's solid, but Grat is having a really solid turnaround map. Thought he was absent coming into this series, and now certainly showing up. Oof. Meaty nade onto Crims. Jumps through the window, and it certainly hurts. He's the only player with armor as well, so it could have been more hefty damage. Still not ideal, but it's a half buy here for fnatic, where EXTREMUM are looking to get even more distance. That secondary AWP is on the field. He is, of course, holding in towards Ivy in that respect. No supportive utility at all. You know, no flashes or smokes to make things a little bit easier. Almost feel like
get rid of
the armor instead on Crims. You know, you get a smoke flash and that's something.
God, man, I mean, you've got enough lost bonus to go for it regardless. It is still very worrying, though, because this could have been a big punish round against EXTREMUM. You know, you've got a double up out versus pistols. That's a no, if I've ever seen one. So, a bit surprising. And you start to wonder, is this fnatic maybe just not force buying enough? You know, are they so scared to commit to their economy on their T sign that they're missing a lot of the meta and letting EXTREMUM maybe get away with a lot more than they should be in that situation? And again, you can see over here, it's clear sailing. Bomb will be planted, sure, but that isn't really entirely your objective. Almost a team kill coming through, but hey, Michael, it's all right. We don't have to be chuckling away in their misery.
Nah, man. Jaquinho really wanted the M4 that I think was dropped on top of the train, but his arms just weren't long enough. But yeah, and sort of an anti-punish, right? The AWPs are sitting very far back, so Bentet's that first point of contact. So it's a good setup there as well for EXTREMUM to deal with that B-side aggression. Of course, getting that plant down was part of the objective there for fnatic, so they'll get all the bells and whistles coming into this round. Do wonder, though, we haven't seen all too much from this T-side AWP. It has slowed things down. You know, we've seen the pace change from fnatic work out in a limited effect.
I love this smoke. It's one of the spawn-based ones. I always love anything that's spawn-based anyway. But now Brolin's going to be trying to use it to his advantage to try and rush forward aggressively. Gratisfaction, meanwhile, however, has found one, and his teammates are not shy of doing the same. Jaquinho can respond, sure, but very quickly this is turning into EXTREMUM's ball game, where the early exchanges would sometimes go the way of fnatic. Now even those are no longer going to be the case. Just not feeling safe to cluster together, and with Molotovs being expended, Golden's down to 37. fnatic is boxed in with nowhere to go. Gratisfaction peeked out into, and he's more than happy to shut them down. This is just a perfect round pretty much coming out from EXTREMUM. I'm sure you'll lose a player, but man, money's being vault up, and double up is not being punished at all. Again, question is, when do we see a force buy?
Yeah, the fact that they get 3 kills in sync, effectively. Yeah. That's not how you want to start off another gun round.
Especially if you're an observer.
Yeah, I mean, we miss some of the action, but that's all completely justified in that respect. fnatic not really getting all too much going off of that one. And that was off of the back of the fact that they wanted to try and punish the AWPs. They wanted to try and cross that distance faster, only for them to lose out in all of their opening fights. Okay, we're seeing more utility brought forward in this round.
Yeah, but
yeah, it doesn't feel like enough of an investment. Almost feel like you could maybe justify sort of even the hero AKA line. Maybe I've just been watching too much CIS Counter-Strike, to be honest.
I don't know, man. Like, some MAC-10s would be pretty nice to have. Lias, in the meanwhile, will not be rushed down. The Deck 9 is whipping all its bullets. Jacob turns around, He's just going for more. Grenade as well, straight to the corner. Insult to injury and injury to death. Lias, well, he'll be insulted as well, but at the end of it all, they still keep 3 players alive. Some damage out from fnatic, but even then, you're just left wondering, hey, what if that's a Mac 10 chasing the op turning a corner, you know?
Mm.
And the worst offense to me is that JW's got 1650, man. Golden, you know, he's still got $750. Roland's got, you know, a little bit of money too. It's not like you couldn't have gone for it on 2 or 3 players without, you know, and been forced to break the bank in the next round.
Mm-hmm. You can see Jaquinho's made the only real compromise on that team, lacking in some armor. So, I mean, we've seen some solid nades from EXTREMUM. Could play a factor.
Good indeed.
Set poised for this one. Has Azar alongside him as well, so prep for a double drop should it come through. They're trying to make their way out teammate, but taking so much damage. Brolin's brought down to 6.
And Jacob from the side trying to spray away as a good for one. They're using the chaos for their advantage. Think to turn upside down, but that's how the Aussies like it. Big dead. Good for another. Jacob, in the meanwhile, keeps it going, but Golden, the in-game leader, is the one who shows up, but he's now been shown up. Binted given time to pull out a CZ. How does that happen? Jaquinho maybe just double scoped onto an angle and doesn't realize Binted's playing around a smoke or something like that, but just falling apart over there.
Yeah, just what has happened here with Jaquinho at the end? What? Hello? Is he alt-tab, lagged out? I don't know what's going on. I didn't hear a shot ring off, so... Even the double zoom argument is kind of crazy to me. Why would you be double zoomed to the smoke? I'm a little bit all over the place. I think that round is fair to say. There was a lot of chaos thrown towards A, so maybe just losing track of which angles were exposed, and it maybe looks worse on our replay than anything else. Either way, fnatic have been contained. 4 rounds is all they've got so far. EXTREMUM, double digits, and this double AWP has yet to really be challenged all too effectively. Even with these pace changes, fnatic, they're breaking into the bomb sites, but they're not doing enough to progress and actually get into post plants.
Crims is about to be conversion on from behind as well. That's just an instant chop from Azza. Weapon upgrade as well while he's at it. fnatic, they need that 5th round, Michael. 11's too much. Gratisfaction has been so good on the CT side. You have to wonder what the T side is going to look like, but the luxury of space cannot be afforded to EXTREMUM more than it already has been. Lias, that secondary op shot misses, and JW has crept inside the O train. Now peeking in, has another one. JW is doing it all on his own tree when it's needed the most, but over to B they go. That's where Binted waits. He sees the feed. That's a quick kill for him. JW too far away to help, but is he? He's got more.
He could just well ace them for this. JW's been massive in this round. He's picked apart that A-bomb site, cleared the path to B. He's low, that is for sure, but the 4K could have one more added to the tally. Jacob trying to clutch things back, suss out the positions if possible, but he's making noise as well. It's all coming down to the timings. It's patient stuff here from fnatic, but Jacob finally making the steps, and JW will get it. It's an ace for fnatic to find a 5th. What a round from JW.
And JW is really slotting into those flusher rolls more than anything else, where, hey, you're on that weird lurk, you're trying to find a small needle angle, you're trying to punish the aim going awry for a couple of people, and he's delivered in quite a few rounds. If nothing else, he's always got into this position, but never this kind of success. Obviously, you know, he's obviously not getting too many aces, you know, yes, but it's just the first 2 kills themselves are just so crucial. The fact that he gets 3 more is just a couple of cherries on top, maybe not just one.
And it was one of those positions where it was left open, right? The Ivy towards spawn position, they knew that was a possibility. But even still, he's able to somehow dodge out on not 1, but 2 AWPs. Got tagged by 1, but it wasn't enough. Anyway, pistol round here for fnatic. CT side, of course, and trying to get some information early. Potentially a pick was Crims. Still, shots exchanged, no damage. Hit smoke on Golden as well for a post plant should it end up in that position. But you see EXTREMUM, they've spread out. That bomb still dropped outside of team main. Waiting to see if there's anything crazy coming out from the Fnatic pistol.
Well, they're gonna need something a little bit crazy, Michael. Because this utility is really well placed. It's completely isolating out Chiquinho. Crim's good only for one. The trade is too fast, but JW on the side is going for more. The bomb can't be planted. Chiquinho's here to defend it, and now they keep on going. Back to a 2v2. Bented on the side. Position aware. Chiquinho can't get it done, though. Jacob has found him, and Brolin with the dualies from downtown. John Rambo is in the house, but he can't quite break that house down. Bentet long range. Remind us why the dualies are a terrible gun on the CT side in particular. Why would you ever get one, man? He picked it up in all fairness, if I'm not wrong, but I don't know, man.
Nah, that was his. I'm pretty sure those were his.
Didn't he also have armor though?
Yeah, I think they were dropped to him. It's a B-sided play, right? So if they rush towards B, the dualies are really threatening in that position. It's probably the worst fight to be taking. You know, cross bomb site at A. That's a very long sight line. The dualies aren't all that accurate in all fairness. So yeah, not the best gun for the fight. Either way, it's a clutch round here for EXTREMUM. Two guns not better than one in some instances.
Most instances when it comes to CS, but hey.
Good reaction.
And Ted's tied up because of that. And I mean, I will say this for Fnatic. They are at least, you know, being a little bit more exploratory on their force spies. And you know, they have a force spy in their CT side rather than the other side. But now Golden, he has scrims to back him up. He needs to be able to follow through in that single scout shot if it comes in. That'll be the recipe for success for them. Add in a flank potentially from Pop Dog. Decent damage done onto Gratisfaction. Crims gets that first shot, but instead it's into his Golden's feet. That's a mistake.
Oh, and they're just getting bodied over towards B.
There's nothing to be done. EXTREMUM. Small mistake from Fnatic here and there.
I wasn't even 100% sure if the scout shot did tag him, but it did look that way, and that can slow your teammate down for the peak, and you know, additional damage doesn't help.
Not to mention, you feel kind of bad about it afterwards.
Yeah,
Sorry,
just a
man.
little.
Like, that's an awkward conversation in the locker room. Golden just comes up to Crim's like, "Yo, why you shooting my feet, bro?"
Hey man, he didn't get an assist. He didn't get an assist, so it's not that bad.
It's a scout. I think
One
that's
flash?
35. Oh, this could be big because there's already a stack there, but it only really assists him. Yeah, you know, they're helping him acclimatize to Europe. They're giving him some more confidence. That's what they're doing. Fnatic are great people.
The flash, they were setting up for that play, but the flash was just so delayed as well. Anyway, it's a bit of a throwaway round, hoping that it works, and it doesn't. So.
Speaking of things not working, speaking of all of Fnatic except for JW, they don't have double digits on anyone so far. I think everyone on Fnatic has like a 0.5 KD at this point. I know Brolin's 8 and 16. I think Golden's 7 and 14. Yeah, and you know, Crims and Chiquinho not having the best of games either so far.
Well, Golden spots a couple towards the box holes, only to realize that the fire at his feet should push him back. And this is where you're going to need to see some of that star power come forward. Golden on the first hold is good, but it's traded back. That bomb drops, but now recovered. Planting down. EXTREMUM 4-on-4. Where Fnatic, they need this round.
Fnatic have needed quite a few rounds so far, but if they lose this one, that should just be game point for EXTREMUM to start bringing it all back in the series. Chiquinho, no one speaking into him. And that's what he needs at this point. JW is at least good for one. He's forcing people to start shifting about. That opportunities had. Brolin will capitalize on them. Lias now with the smoke still at his feet, trying to peek behind it, but is located and brought down. Only Vintet, and he will be unable to defend, but there isn't a kit, is there? Yeah, this might be it. They barely have it. They should be able to get it defused in time. It's right at the nick of it, and they can't get the round away. A split second. That's all it takes. But Fnatic, time, firepower, numbers, luck, you name it, it's just not in their favor.
Oh, man, that's so close. Might have just been about a half second. Because you'd have somebody keeping track of that one. They weren't quite sure, but they knew that there was a round that they had to win, and they almost pulled it back. They do dodge out on some of the worst of it, though. They're not missing on a lot of the weaponry. They've still got, by and large, what they would have come into as a full gun round. Sure, Golden's made a compromise, but you have the AWPs out. Predominant rifles, and you have the util to stop any sort of a faster play that if EXTREMUM wanted to go that direction, but they have to really navigate around this one. Nade onto JW is significant. Once again, they're poising up for a B-sided play. Happy with the entries they got last time around, hoping to copy that, replicate once again.
And Joaquinho spotted out over there.
He's trying to spam him? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You barely see like that. You see just the tip of the head in that angle. It's not great to have a helmet on sometimes at CT. It's Brolin to fall 3-on-4. I mean, EXTREMUM, it feels like this round already has their name on it as they're assisting in some of the calligraphy. It's making those letters stylish. A lot like their vlogs, which everyone should go check out.
Ooh.
They actually do some pretty good content, honestly.
Yeah. Respect that.
Yeah.
Well, this is not ideal. Only one player sits past the double digits mark by a significant margin.
I mean, Brolin's on 10, so.
Yeah. But I mean, JW's got 19.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm technically double digits, Brolin. I'm giving them something. All right, Michael? Even if Brolin isn't.
And, well, they'll need double digits in a row. 10 is what they need. It has to be flawless from here on out, and it's not ideal. Almost feels like they have to force the issue in a lot of respects. This sort of more static style hasn't been working out. And we got to see some of the, I think, some of the inexperience maybe shine through in that last round as well. Joaquinho on that AWP. How many times was Grak going to shoot the wood right in front of him? With Joaquinho not really reacting, I think hoping that there'd be a misstep, but very exposed in that position. Not realizing.
Right. Smoke at his feet. JW's peak is a little bit delayed to dodge the bullet, but he doesn't quite expect the second play already past it. Vintet, that's a great shot from Brolin to take him down initially at the very least, but Bill opens up Ivy completely.
Oh
Jacobs come through from Pop Dog through a Molotov, and that shuts down Crims, and that leads Brolin to be completely isolated on this A-bomb site. A smoke at his feet as well, so he can't quite peek into Pop Dog as they're moving back potentially to rotate into B. They have left a lurker in there. That's Gratisfaction on the op, but Golden, he's the only player on this B-bomb site.
Part of the feet. Knows they're coming. Molotov to try and stop them from getting into the site, but Gratz found another over at A. Liaz does fall, but that bomb's making its way back over towards that A bomb site. Gratz doesn't quite realize that they're rotating in like this, and so the nade could finish off the job. Oh, it's just narrowly round the other corner. Gratz trying to keep Brolin pinned. They know that they've rotated back towards A, so the bomb's going back again. It's constant transition paths, and Gratisfaction dials it in. It's a 16-5 scoreline on the second map. EXTREMUM 2-0.
And with that, we've got to go to a small break, and we'll be back with the third map very soon.
It is map number 3. EXTREMUM, fnatic, they trade map picks, and while I may have looked a bit silly saying it was a 2-0, they looked a bit silly. They made their opponents look rather silly on their respective map picks to get to this point. Of course, it's Inferno, and it's a map where you get to see the new chickens, but also maybe a new brand of Counter-Strike between these two teams, because it has been fairly one-sided throughout. Of course, Tea Time joining me for the action, as always, and well, fnatic, they take the knife round.
And I'm just wondering why we switched away from cock cam, but hey, it's all right. We'll see the chickens later on. Now, question is, EXTREMUM, can they close this one out or not? Because in the first one, we saw where, you know, we were saying, this should be easy for them, Vertigo. They're not going to have any issues at all. And that's where they got absolutely swept away by fnatic. 16-9, wasn't even close. They managed to show some signs of life on their own CT side. But now, you're going into Inferno. You know, fnatic, not the best win rate on it, but at the same time, EXTREMUM, not the best opponents on it. You're really just having this mishmash of question marks and variables that you're like, okay, what do we really even take into consideration? It's going to be an open field, and at this point, I would like to still favor EXTREMUM going into this one. I still think they should be able to take this one away, but it really depends on how they start off this T side. Oh!
Okay, start off like that, and that's not the best way going forward. Fast one from Gold. They're already pressuring behind, so they're speeding up here on that T side, moving towards A. JW, all that's left.
One as well on the side. Quick, clean 2-tap. Maybe a few more than 2 in the middle there, but hey, it's a 2 that hit. Now JW and Brolin left in a 2 versus 4, despite the opening kill. fnatic still look to be in dire straits, not a single frag to be found afterwards, and they're just backing off to save the smoke, and JW's armor can be taken forward. JW, of course, can upgrade his for just 350. They don't have a kit as well, so I mean, I get it, but it is strange to see so little being saved.
Yeah. And this was a round as well where they didn't opt for the sort of like dually setup over towards that B-bomb site. We saw Brolin pick that up before. He's on train, and you know, not having that kit and getting overrun as quickly as this, those two do not go hand in hand.
It's also about potentially, you know, maybe a little bit of extra money for them to be getting, you know, 1 or 2 extra kills can go a long way, especially considering fnatic don't like force buying that much. So then again, CT side, they have shown us a tendency to do that.
Well, they don't stray too far from the light. MP9, some pistols. But crucially,
on the light, he says.
Everybody. Looks on
Michael,
everyone, so they can't delay.
Michael,
What's
listen,
up?
man, it's 2021. There is no light in the economy of Counter-Strike, okay?
Yeah, I know. City side economy did be fatal. I know.
It's all, good tag onto Jacob, but yeah, it's all darkness and Galils. Brolin, meanwhile, that's the Galil coming in, putting Brolin into a dark day. Molotov from Golden can maybe keep them at bay for a little while, but that time is temporary as it's been smoked off and Bintet has walked through. Instant shot onto Golden, and they're not done just yet. The MAC-10 still hunting for more, and it will be delivered. Crims is just a walk-in piggy bank, and he's happy to be cracked open. Well, maybe he's not happy to be cracked open, but Bintet's happy doing the cracking.
Yeah, they're all so low. I just feel like there could be more damage to be gained from this, but you risk so much more here for fnatic. Not going to be worth it, especially because the people you're more likely to come in contact with will be the healthy ones, as the tagged players sitting nestled corners. To be able to get away with a clean one.
Yeah, especially considering that, you know, the MP9 is so pretty powerful. You can potentially sneak out around the JWs in, you know, some sort of weird apartments area, in a corner where he's unexpected. There's some tags from the scout. Like, there are legitimate possibilities for you to be able to make it competitive.
We definitely saw it more earlier in the day when we were watching EPG. Yeah, how many times we see, I think, Forrester kind of go off with the MP9. I think it's been less so in this game.
Kassad in the back line just looks like he's just an assistant manager sitting there with a whiteboard next to him.
For a small donation, you may even get your username added to that whiteboard. True streamer fashion.
Oh, shake him. Very important kill to find initially. That scout's taken away, and it can be recovered, but not without a lot of HP being lost. Good grenade. They predict that someone's going to be coming back to pick it up. And Crims has found himself a little bit weaker as a result.
Well, this is shaping up to be a very dangerous possibility. Depended on where Jacob was headed, but he's just clearing out the library, so site set still firmly towards the A-bomb site, but could have flanked towards B as well. Well, head offered up. Crims is already very low, so yeah, the SMG finishes off the job, and this is, again, another clean state of affairs it's shaping up to be here for EXTREMUM. Jacob even investigating for more, and he's dancing back and forth between the angle. He's being past golden. Certainly could still fall, but they should be able to get away with the AK, so no bother.
I mean,
okay, never mind.
Some good money, and suddenly
it's a bother now.
That's actually 2 rifles picked up, and they've got to go hunting. They've got 2 MAC-10s. These are both weapons you're more than happy to lose, but at the same time, fnatic, even if you lose these, you've got $1,200 extra on JW. That's the power of the saved MP9. You know, maybe another kill could be had. So much can actually be done, and Bintet and Lias are so far split apart that they don't really feel comfortable actually going for more. Bintet might throw his body at them just for the sake of it, but finding them seems impossible at this stage. That's a big round from fnatic. Again, the saved MP9, that's just the power of it.
Yeah, I said with so much confidence that it was going to be a clean round, and then it all just kind of fell apart, to be quite honest.
Listen, Mr. 2-0.
Yeah, that's just, I don't want to talk about it, man.
Well, this is still the point where fnatic would like to be able to put their feet down, dig their heels in a little bit, and EXTREMUM, well, they might have to drag their heels, considering the fact that the bomb's all the way back in their T-spawn. Flashbang out from Bintet to peek in through to make sure no one can contest that. Oh, juicy nade! They do manage to jump back. Some synchronized swimming going on over there, seemingly. And, oh, what a shot from Golden. That's the AK that was saved up. Even JW with another one, and Brolin. A labored spray, but Jaquinho's also got one. They all fall apart.
Yeah, all they need is for Crims to find a kill, and they've successfully gotten kills on everybody in this round. At all different ports of the map, fnatic have shut them down. We didn't expect it to turn out this way, but they got a little bit of confidence brewing from that last round, bringing in those AKs. Now Azur's left 1-on-5.
And so much utility as well. On the CT side, you can see they barely really had to scratch the surface of their util. So this is the ultimate clean round, dare I say it. And before Azur just gets 4 kills, but the boost, it would be, but at least the boost should be able to help them out pretty handily. Good damage dealt as well. Azur will adjust, but all under the head. Brolin damaged, but not gone. And with that, fnatic find their first round very successful. Lots of money built up as well. Gives them enough to be able to buy into another one should they lose, but assuming they're able to save 1 or 2 weapons. But look at how many AKs they have. And they've got 2 AKs, almost full head armor. Brolin hasn't invested into it, but this is looking like such a good round for them to have taken away. That could be the big momentum shift.
Yeah, what's wild about that as well is because like you're saying, they only use so little utility. The fact that fnatic are fighting as early as that as well. You know, they're a team that do like to throw in these aggressive plays, but have it be as successful as that. Who'd have thunk it?
Waiting for it. Good shot onto the blind player, but Bintet's still good for the trade. However, flashbangs go both ways, my friends. There's 3 players here. Crims alone on the sheltered area. Gets 1, 2 on John, maybe 3, but Grant says not that much. Although I have a feeling Crims might be happy regardless. A second Molotov also picked up by Grant. But he is located, JW, making sure there is no funny business. And again, a very clean round from fnatic. Lots of utility kept alive. Crims with his 2K, the double, just ensuring that round would have been theirs no matter what happened. This second kill, though, from CTs, that's really good.
Yeah, the counter utility was perfect on cue there for Jaquinho to go for a reface. But you're right, Crim's holding on to this short position for long enough and not being kind of shoveled into that one and done position where you do only get the one kill.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. Once again, it seems like Fnatic are looking for that early information, early control.
Ooh.
Certainly having it in the back of their minds. The nade at the logs doesn't quite make it over, but Broland will still take up position. So no problems. Jaquinho once again pressured, but the ult hitting the shot so far has been successful.
Jaquinho's been very good on this over here and on vertical. Train was a bit of an exception, but over here and Inferno, he continues. Form that perhaps was lost after the first map. Jaquinho sees the elbow, will not be baited out by it, and that's again very clean round. I'm loving this from Fnatic. It's a 3-3, but the momentum's completely shifted the way of the CT side, and not to mention the money's pretty damn high as well. JW, nearly 10k. Jaquinho, nearly 10k. They could even start putting out the double option if they'd like to.
I mean, when you're seeing as much success as you are on the rifle so far, I probably don't want to push towards that too early, just in case. Of course, money is a big deal here on that CT side, so if you can avoid it, he'll invest it into double ops is a good way to bypass that. JW running past the flames, but Liaz reads into it. Not sure if he was spotted from the balcony early enough. That Molotov certainly sailing past, so it's trying to prevent plays like it. Still not even getting caught out in the slightest. It's decent damage, but the early pick will certainly work in their favor. Jaquinho's for a world of hurt here. He's in a rock and a hard place, and he misses the shot.
And Crims isn't there to provide backup. Instead, trails back, has to keep arches secure to allow for a retake if they'd like to go for it. But instead, they've decided against it. They'll buy up the AWP again in the next round. Right now, it's all about securing Banana to make sure there's no one actually hunting them down. Broland smokes it off as well. Extremum will not want to go through this. And for them, this is an immediate call. Okay, fine, we've got the round. Back off, save your weapons. Extremum cannot afford to stretch their economy thin. Their loss bonus is not at a good place either. And Fnatic's money being as healthy as it is could be a very bad situation if they try to hunt.
Yeah, I wonder if this as well will add to the sort of urgency to get deep B control for Fnatic. You know, they lose out on the apartments very early. You could see that there was a plan already thrown in for JW. Ooh. See the players inspecting the new chickens themselves.
I haven't seen them either, actually. Quite nice. I like
very
the brown
HD.
one. Yeah. I don't like the rooster as much, but the brown one's quite nice. That looks like a chicken you can take to a, chicken show.
Not quite
Hey,
sure where
they
you're
have
going with
dog
that
shows
one.
and cat shows, Show how good its feather is. And then cook it.
I wasn't sure how long you're going to go on for that one.
Now, well, there is some cooking happening over at Banana. Some burnt meat, but it's Azir who's been burnt himself. Been intent to find the kill. Roasted Broland alive. But the kitchen is closed and Golden, well, he's got a nade to make sure of it.
Another round where Fnatic have gone for that half-wall dry swing.
Ooh.
Nade is good. And the flash off the back of this as well. Crim's lining up for more than just the one, but they make it past the half-wall in time. Losing out on a player, but Fnatic keeping contained to this 2-2 setup between the two sites. The arches are certainly open, but they're pushing forward here on Extremum. The Molotov not fully extinguished, but some sanctuary provided by the smoke.
And Crim's position once again, prioritizing the boost. He's going to be checked this time though. And Golden, sure, he reacts well, but this is still possible. Extremum need to isolate it and bring him down, but Grat misses the shot. Golden repositions back to second oranges for him, but he can't decide. He's so unsure of what to do. Molotov spreading, Golden killing. And Gratisfaction, he's got the bomb, trying to hightail it back towards that A bomb site. If he can find the skill onto the Archer's player, JW can actively be caught off, but Grat's not got the timing, and as he's running past, JW has the information. A grenade is all that's needed to actually get this kill, and if JW chucks one out over here, that could be big, and he knows he's on the bomb site. I think JW's heard it. I'm not sure if he was too far away. He was in the boiler room, but now coming in from apartments, this is a free kill and a free round with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if Grat was going to be tucked a little bit further behind the boxes, but we could see from JW's perspective. Just rounds that corner, clearing the site, and then there he is, out in the open. Tying round there for fnatic, and it actually looked a little bit dire. You know, losing a player 1-for-1 like that towards top B so early, but then there's that counter utility that comes out. They fight for top B control. Then Golden just being very tricky towards that new box position. They would have recognized that he was likely still nestled in there, especially after spotting out the boost. But even still, staying alive for as long as he did and coming up with some crucial kills. Extremum reinvesting into it, and the Molotovs just do so much. The nade combo towards the bottom of B, sure they get a pick in response, but that is a full utility kill that equalizes.
Crims has rotated back though. This is where Jorginho has to step up. JW's sort of been playing that second anchor role.
Very
Jorginho.
close.
That looked like it should have been banged on, but the movement and accuracy can be a fickle mistress. Golden has a smoke. Crims has a flashbang. Utility in the B bomb site from the CTs is dwindling down, and there's plenty of Molotovs to force Golden out unless he wants to use the smoke for himself, which is something which might not always work out. Smoke goes out immediately. Flashbang there as well. He has burnt alive a little bit, but he's just waiting for a flash to come through. Crims had rotated away. Now with the flash, he can peek out. It's deploying. They will be blind, but before that even happens, Lias has got the kill through that smoke. 3 versus 4, and they're not going to save. They have to go for it. Gratisfaction almost caught out, but he's alive for long enough to provide a bit more defense. Over towards Banana, and he will not be able to get it done. Jorginho, another shot that looked like it should have been bang on. But they've got 2 players over towards Coffins. This Op is going to be peeking in from there. It's not easy to get that kill, but Crims has found his shoulder and he has connected JW with a second on top of it all. Lias turning around, not sure where to look, and what a retake coming through.
It's perfect timings. The peaks are good, and it almost looked like it could have happened a little bit quicker there for fnatic. You know, some missed shots, and still they're able to pick it apart, keep everyone alive, and it breaks down the setup in the post plant there from EXTREMUM. Very strong stuff, and it topples over into the lead here for fnatic. Shovels the money down for EXTREMUM. Coming into this, they have pistols and a solitary AK. Jorginho has been consistent. He has been pretty solidly consistent when we've seen him on that AWP. It feels like sometimes that, I mean, especially on Vertigo we got to saw it, but it felt like it was a limited affair on Train. Kind of toes the line between passive and aggressive. We'll have a defensive angle. We'll reface that defensive angle a couple of times over.
What you're saying is a passive aggressive. That doesn't sound like it's too good for them. Binted, however, definitely not good for fnatic. 2 great entry kills with a hero AK. They've got full control over the B-bomb. So Binted's so done, but Crims will forcibly put him down, not without cost to his own life, though. 12 HP is all he has. fnatic, they do have utility to start to climb back in onto the bomb side, but for 2 players playing from backside, Lias and Jacob could be deadly. Lias, especially with that all saved up. Gratisfaction, great flashbang to assist. A second as well, but they're not checking the angle, and Jacob will fall short. Lias still alive, 1-on-1. Jorginho peeking in, but it's another from Lias to seal the deal, but it's again those 2 early headshots from Bintet, which are the difference makers.
Yeah, just really not reading into the setup there from EXTREMUM, and all that utility that they had to get back into that bomb site, it's well placed. But then just being able to be blindsided in this manner, Jorginho not really scaling up with the rest of his teammates because he had the AWP, and Lias just hitting the final few shots. They can't really be separated by all too much here. It's feeling like back and forth we go. Chiquinho fancying a bit of a peek, but timing's not going to work out in his favor. Jumped across, so he had to give it up. Double nade is a bit early. Liaz just spotting it as fireworks as that smoke dissipates.
That second player also just didn't feel comfortable peeking into him. Jacob waited for him to actually fire the shot off before moving in. Quite important. Liaz though, right now, dodges the flashbang, still does get tagged up. JW is the one to deliver a kill though in the meanwhile. And the B-bomb site has been Extremum's preferred site of attack, but fnatic seem to be wising up to this.
Yeah, Chiquinho's already made his way over.
Very early on as well with 50 seconds left, but look at how much information they have through JW. Crims as well, Molotov is ready, so if they start to move over, they're not going to be able to get into Hobbit. They'll have to be funneled onto the bomb site itself. This is such a great time to throw that Molotov. Flashbang goes out as well. Golden still alive. Grat with one though. Brolin's gone down. JW in the from behind hasn't been noticed. This could be 3 kills for him. 1, 2, is evading though, and then beat back into him. Misses the timing, and Liaz gets the kill. Back to a 2-on-2. Chiquinho and Crims no longer have the utility, and the bomb is going down. Liaz playing from Banana, but Crims to punish Azur. In the meanwhile, Liaz, 2 flashes available, knows that he needs to get proactive, knows that once the smoke is dissipating, there's going to be at least 1 player on the other side, but do they realize that Liaz has free position? This is massive. Are they going to be checking this at all? They're so focused on Banana. Liaz will be able to get the first free, and that's an op once again in a 1-on-1. Chiquinho's lost so many of these. Will it be another? No! No scope. Chiquinho finally comes in and is able to win one of these. And fnatic, again, it looked like that opportunity was missed when JW missed that second chance, but they are able to clean it all up.
Yeah, it looked like Liaz was going to be able to clutch one back again because that reposition was just so key. But it's just close. It's not close enough. It almost looked like an opportunity as well where he could have hesitated, you know, played a bit more trigger discipline. But it's just so hard to call in a close instance like that. Especially as you enter more of the periphery or peripheral vision. It's very, very difficult. Well, fnatic have edged their way forward. Gonna be continual buy territory should they topple back and forth like they have been, seesawing. Give up top banana control though. They've been fighting for this a fair few times, but they've been varying it up as well. So every so often, Extremum do get this for free. Setting up for a bit of a flash play himself, but Brolan gets plucked out.
It's happened a few times over there, and they immediately turn around. Back to the A-bomb site they go. They're trying to speed things up as well, but not sure where they're wanting to go. Could still be an Archers to B rotation with libraries smoked off. It doesn't seem like it's likely. Back over to A they are, but the gray screen allows JW the time he needed. Crim's now on and off angle, but he has been off in that angle. Chiquinho through a smoke. Good for one. Flashes up high. Grad is caught out by it. And the CTs are rotating in, but they're just intercepted. Chiquinho has to save, but he's given away his position. Scoping forward, knows there's a player there, but a missed opportunity means the next round will be missing an AWP as well. fnatic finally forced to have their money taken out from their wallets. Extremum should be able to find a lead.
I mean, this is kind of forced by territory as well. If you're fnatic, you have no loss bonus. And so you just kind of have to play for the follow-up rounds as well. Maybe give yourself a decent amount of chance in this one. But they really have been relatively inseparable after round 5. Just constantly back and forth. Oh, Bentet, the timing on this, if he made it all the way through there, boosting up into the boiler. Molotov will tag and almost bag both of them. Yeah, they're completely contained, so Bentet gets both.
Didn't even need the Molotov, man. Just the straight headshots. He's so clean right now. Bentet on the AK has always been a joy to watch. Obviously, for a while, did suffer because of the Krieg meta.
Apparently, that's still not finished, you know?
In all fairness, I actually quite like the Krieg now. I think it's at a good place, you know? I could see it being treated like a T-side secondary op.
It's a specialized weapon.
Yeah.
I think that's where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I think the gun balance is really good in the game right now, except for Deagles. Deagles are the only imbalanced thing. And I just think, man, the R8 needs to be turned into a Deagle, but just for the T side. So everything is identical, but you get less skill bonus.
Interesting.
That's my take on how you balance the economy.
Yeah, but I mean, having a different gun model, that affects my aim.
Yeah, but that also affects Valve's bottom line, because guess who's going to buy a lot more skins? All y'all.
Like, if I have a USP in my hand,
us than Dota.
if I have a USP in my hand, I'm hitting some nice clean one taps. If I have a Deagle in my hand, you know, sometimes some nice clean one taps. If I have an AK, I'm not tapping, I'm spraying that. And I'm missing the first, like, 6 shots, probably.
All right, Lecro.
I mean, that's the gun. The gun matters. What
Indeed,
it looks
does.
like. I don't know why.
Not too many guns on Fnatic's side, and that definitely matters.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Indeed. Sometimes even a USP isn't the best model to have. I like this entry pathway from Bintet. He's been doing this quite a few times to prevent anyone from getting aggressive through it as well. It's quite nice to see.
The timing for it's good as well.
Yeah, but not good enough. Eugenio puts that AK to good use. Not really getting all too overzealous to move in and recover that one yet, but maybe later on they are considering it. Brolin, close range angle, Deagle, that's a double shot, and there you go. Meanwhile, they're moving past. Good flashbang. That's a recoverable AK as well, but he doesn't want to go in. Now, maybe if they want to come through mid, that's a separate conversation to be having. Over in Graveyard, it's a sneaky player, and JW is going to be trying to distract them, but JW instead is using him as bait. We'll find one, but not more. A 2-on-2, and Brolin hasn't recovered the AK.
Yeah, focus on getting there faster than focusing on the frags and the potential to pull that AK out. Instead, now that's long distance, it's really going to do a lot of damage. The nade could finish off the job as well, but Brolin's rotated around the other side. No kits, so they'd have to move quickly if they really want to contest this one, and it's grinding off a lot of time on the clock.
There isn't much HP on EXTREMUM side either. Jacob's very low. A Deagle could be taking him apart. Same for Grant. 2 shots is all it takes, but Jacob in long range angles is just a master. Jaquinho as well, not being contested. He's trying to bait out the shot by making noise, but they are not falling for it. EXTREMUM, they're fine with giving up Jacob's life if need be, but they will not give up the round. And that's what matters. Even Jacob's life is saved, actually. The bomb was planted deep in the site.
Yeah, really well done there from Jacob. Just constantly jiggling and juggling both those 2 CT players trying to make their way up the arches, and only waited until information was relayed by his teammate to go for those peaks to make it easier. Play the 2-on-1 on those fights. Really the linchpin in the round as EXTREMUM have edged their way further forward. 8-6, looking to make it a 9th as well. They had every opportunity to buy into an ult if they wanted to. Instead, opting for more rifles. Jaquinho burning quite heavily. The flash is good as well, so that's a frag for Bentet. Brolin's been tagged. The nade does sail a little bit deep, but again, Bentet close to this wall, looking for opportunities, and he'll find another.
EXTREMUM, this could be the 9th round coming in for them. They have been able to bring things back all the way since they broke the Fnatic economy, and Fnatic's just not been given any room to breathe at all. If there's one thing we can definitely say about EXTREMUM's side, they've been very good at punishing these weaker buys, but right now, JW, he's not the one who's weak. Crims is the one, but it's still Brolin. Brings it back to a 1v1. I'm cutting myself off, but Brolin might be about to cut them off. Gratisfaction, 36 HP. Brolin's got the bomb. Knows that there's only 2 ways for Grat to peek, but with the smoke coming in, maybe that's way number 3. Brolin looking to move through it. Grat is expecting that, though. He himself might be getting a little bit antsy through the smoke, and this is the time. And Grat, though, turns the corner straight to the head.
The margins on this round. The small ifs and buts. Right, Bentet getting that double, and then they recover it, and then Brolin gave up the angle. He was holding the smoke. Worried about an R trap potentially as well. Oh, that one hurts. Because it was just back and forth trades. They'd cut off that bomb. That's rough.
That's
anyway,
nicely.
Second-hand pistol. Or second half, second hand.
Might be second hand too, honestly. You never know. Hand-me-downs all around the army. But Asa, I'm going to use both those hands. Try and shut them down. Player spotted out. Second player heard. They have a fair bit of information, but still not choosing to push through Banana. Not wanting to take that risk on the CT side. EXTREMUM are playing a very passive take, but with double nades, they're hoping that they can prevent the bomb from going down without at least the T side losing most of their players. No kits, despite the 2 sets of utility on the CTs.
Yeah, they already got the information deep B, so they know this is an A-sided take, but JW's beat past the timing. They didn't quite realize he'd be out so early.
He's still going for these duels. They're not able to get too much done inside the graveyard, but no, this could be a mistake. The bomb's dropped, but it's dropped on their side. The RNG favors them as they're good for another one, but Fnatic still have a chance over here to bring it all back. BinTED will be eliminating those chances, dropping bomb carriers all day. Roland, the only person left, a 1-on-5. 1 kill found, nade at his feet, shot to the chest, and they're to blame. They give Fnatic a bad name.
Yeah, that's another heart-piercing round there for Fnatic, because the timing on the execute seemed pretty on point, only for them to get dropped on this rotation that they had planned through the arches. Right, getting enough real estate to threaten that A bomb site as soon as JW's gone. I mean, BinTED hears the steps through the arches as well, so he's kind of between two minds about helping out at A, but then the information that he has himself brings it back the other direction.
Fnatic again, man, just...
Yeah, the trend continues.
It is not... I really dislike this. Especially when you consider EXTREMUM is taking full liberties to punish this. They've got 3 MP9s.
Yeah.
Now, one of those MP9s has just got 1 kill. Now, sure, traded away, but that just means Asa himself can get a bit more done. Liaz, meanwhile, so everyone has found at least 1 kill with the MP9s. You've already made it worth it. Fnatic, any kills they find on MP9s are probably even working out against them, because their own first gun round is going to be all the harder without SMGs to contend against. This is the perfect situation for EXTREMUM. Even the 2 kills they've given up are not really the worst in the world, and the nade will go down. Golden not planning quite a default play that could have been big, and with that, that's a quick little retake. And Michael, again, they're getting 2 kills with just Glocks.
Yeah, just how much more could it have been?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In fairness as well, I mean, just get a P250 or something of the sort. So you're less likely to take some of the fights that they won with the pistol. You know, there's a lot of facets to this. But yeah, I will agree. It feels like they're playing a little too safe. We've seen the game kind of move, especially with how strong the Deagles are.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel quite as progressive as you would maybe like. Anyway, rifles are out. Of course, they got that bomb plant down, so they've got a lot of the additional trimmings as well. You know, missing out on some utility, but hey, the AWP can compensate should he be given opportunity. Because he's not going to be contested at those longer ranges, so less likely to take fights down B or mid or EXTREMUM. They've conceded top banana control as well.
Molotov prepared up. That one goes over towards the corner of arches. The Dolov can be sitting there, but Gratisfaction, man, the MP9 again, just using the mobility to find the first kill. He's so good with that weapon as well. It's a crucial skill for a CT side opera to have, but with an additional grenade onto Chiquinho, this is looking like a rough round for Fnatic. Chiquinho flashed up completely. Does shoot out through it directly. JW, meanwhile, tagged up, mollied off, kept back. A molly to pit won't be too useful. That player can just move right back into pit. And utility is gone from Fnatic. They only have 1 smoke. JW is the one to possess it. Golden trying to fake out a rotation back towards B, but the EXTREMUM know they don't need to go. At most, it'll cheat 1 player, and even he's starting to move back. The call's made. Hey, chill out. No one's over here at B. Chiquinho, he's had his shot baited out as well, trying to wallbang in the meanwhile. But It just seems so damn difficult. They're gathering the smoke, and Jacob will get one more before he's traded away. And now the
10
crossfire to
seconds to
play
get the
from
bomb
against
planted.
the pit. They just don't have the time. They don't have the members. But maybe JW's got the kills. Even those will evade and opt to recover EXTREMUM. 7 rounds in a row now.
Oy vey. Just getting stopped at every pass that they take towards that A bomb site. The utility timing is solid, and then they just have to kind of force the issue. Like you said, EXTREMUM having a very solid read on that, in spite of the fact that there was an attempt at, I say an attempt, a flash was thrown, and it threatened the potential rotation.
They spent $200.
Yeah. Now, of course, your numbers down, so you're less likely to separate in that respect, so you can't really put any meat behind the fake. It's got things really going here on this T side. fnatic, down to these pistols. It's a half buy, so we are seeing a little bit, but I don't know, man. The techs don't quite scratch the same itch.
Especially not when they're getting that headshot and only doing 93 damage. But hey, maybe there's something to get done. We know that JW can have a pretty damn good Tech 9 as well. But now EXTREMUM have full control over Banana. These flashbangs won't be deterring them too much. They do not move off of those angles.
Oh, and they're pressuring the flank as well.
Yeah, they're trying to go through. There's 3 players here, and they'll only get 1, but information aplenty as they're forcing them back in the meanwhile. Gratisfaction on the site is a nade that brings down Azure. Good damage dealt from the T's, and they don't quite have the advantage, but they do have the position. The bomb, however, far away from the site. A flashbang to go out to assist, but it just isn't enough. Jacob's already there. JW next to fall. 13th round for EXTREMUM. They're not going anywhere but up.
Well, it feels like fnatic have tried this slower style already, and it's been very limited in its successes. Almost feel like the pace is going to change very quickly. Something they used to do with Flusher all the time as well is they'd run him towards bottom side B and then immediately try to capitalize on Archer's control, see if they could get Brolan in a solid entry pathway. They're taking a bit more of a stance towards B. We've been seeing him fighting on both sides of the equation for this position.
Oh, Gratisfaction. He was ready for that. fnatic really like going for that boost as well, but Brolan right now, he can't quite find a kill, just backs off, so damage is all that is exchanged so far.
Yeah, it looked like he should have got the tag off, but it was just a little bit off the mark. Oh, given another opportunity at it. They're really playing with fire. They know that the Gulp's over towards the arches, throws the molly to force him off, and Grat has not let go of the movement keys. He's been all about these rotations. While fnatic will take brackets control, this is where they can start to set their sights back over towards Banana, retake that position, and force EXTREMUM to really respect both sides of the map.
JW, one-way smoke is big. Gratisfaction's gone down, and he knows there's a second player, but his Lee has to find that dual win. Azure, meanwhile, Golden is very weak right around him, and he's pushed past the smoke to come through. Will be able to connect with the shots. Golden is left from a single point of HP. How lucky can it be? Oh. He even uses it to get another. Now, 1 player on each bomb site. The CTs are going to have to pull out a monstrous miracle, regardless of what happens. 1 kill comes through. Binted might be able to force them back. Oh. He's got another one. It's time for a monstrous miracle. Damage even dealt. A spray would be good if Lias can find it. But the bomb has crossed over safely. Crims with the smoke and 2 flashes. Lias, just pull your trigger, mate. Brolan's on top. Re-smoke comes out for CT. Elias is going to be peeking out. He knows there's a player in Banana, but Brolan in the open is still good for it. You believe for a second when Binted peeks out there, man. You had to believe.
Yeah, it was just so sharp. And read the position fantastically as well. As soon as he dealt with the flank, knew that they would likely suss him out or smoke him off. But he forces the issue instead. First round that they've gotten this half. And it's a bit of a scrappy affair in all due points. But hey, all they need is one more like it, and they'll topple that money out of EXTREMUM's favor. See that the buy they've come into this round with is not ideal.
That's a nice Mag 7. Roland, meanwhile, creeping, crawling, through he goes. Jacob on the other side, long range with the Mag 7. Not something you see too often, but hey. Maybe it just works for him. Good nade. That's a really good nade. Great read coming out of the utility so far from fnatic. But still, advantage the way of EXTREMUM. And it looks like that advantage might just be extended. Gratisfaction's position is big. Free smokes off Archers again. They're going to have to go through it if they want to get anything done sooner rather than later. Liaz, meanwhile, is getting aggressive. The second he sees someone, that's when Gratisfaction is going to consider pushing through the smoke to push in. But instead, Liaz adopts a more passive angle. Grant crosses over. The AWP. Crims, he's able to find him in time. The smoke shenanigans will not work out. Crims smoking off all the angles he needs. The flashbangs well placed, and as their spray is as well. A 4-on-2, a hero's effort needed, and JW is finding his super suit. Will find another kill as well, and Jaquinho with another. Jacob, a flying Mag 7. Now has to maybe fly a little bit further.
Not even able to reap the rewards of his own kill that he got earlier on. He gave that to a teammate, and if he can get this done, he is creeping forward, and they haven't spotted him as of yet. Jaquinho, if he missed the shot, would have been under pressure, but JW does prevent that from even happening. So it's 2 rounds in a row. It took them a while to get registered on the board, but these scrappy rounds do get cleaned up by fnatic twice over.
What a spray from Azza as well. The fact they're able to clean up after that, that is criminal. JW, crucial few kills, and again, he is sitting on 20 and 12, and he's been sort of the big old shining light that's come through. Unfortunately, fnatic still very much in the dark.
Yeah, the threat of the apartments has been a nice benefit that fnatic have been able to exploit. Doesn't seem like EXTREMUM are fighting all too heavily for that position. Nice little double here for Brolan. Extra cash. Eyes on the Zeus, though.
I'm ready.
Doesn't even show up on the HUD. That's how much.
Yeah. I'm ready,
frequently.
That's how much of a sneaky, beaky little weapon it is. But he's trying to bait him in.
He's really trying to bait him in.
Liaz is ready for it. Liaz is going to peek into him. Oh, the aim punch, man. The aim punch. Zeus, of course, you know, famed for its inaccuracy.
Yeah.
Aim punch isn't really going to help.
It always looks like it's going to go straight. Like if you're on a ladder as well, it looks like it should go straight, and then it just doesn't. So
does it have movement inaccuracy?
It does.
Really? Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
So you can't just jump up and have 100% accuracy on it.
No. That would be a bit ridiculous. Though. If I got jumping Zeus, I would. Something would get thrown across the room.
I'm just saying that's the ultimate way to win a game. But right now, for fnatic, they need another way to win a game. Grinding rounds back slowly. Good nade. Oh, doesn't quite go that far though. Could have seen it doing a little bit more. The idea is there, but again, Jacob, perhaps like execution is slightly lacking. Now, Crims peeking outward. 3 players over there on shelter. Jaquinho is trying to catch them on their way back, but is unable to do so. And JW, once again, will be the menace of real estate. The pirate of the apartments, trying to come through, telling these chickens to shut up. It turns out they're not done clocking. Neither is he.
How's he got 2 of them with him?
I swear.
The more steps he makes as well, like they may not be audible steps, but those chickens can actually give up his position potentially. Okay, they're not gonna run out of the balcony. That would have really changed things around.
Yeah. Oh, Golden speaking forward, rushing out from Arches. That's a great shot to find before the flashbang can be deployed. Azzer now can't step up. A miss spray, and that's going to be a safe call.
Man, that's so awkward as well for EXTREMUM because the initial setup gets them an opening kill. But you could see that as soon as that that frag comes through, they break that one down, and then they go for a bit more of a traditional setup, sort of a 2-1-2. And because they're more separated, it actually makes these fights a little bit easier for Fnatic to traverse into. I mean, fair play to Fnatic. They've been having a lot of success as well with these sort of slower creeping into these bomb sites and getting some really good entries off the back of it. But it seems as though this passive approach that EXTREMUM are trying to implement to the later rounds is having its repercussions, where Fnatic can be a bit more confident in these slower working plays.
Especially if they're able to get timings like that one on Golden. Just Gratisfaction was ready to be out with a flashbang behind him. Golden just manages to circumnavigate his way and pass before it is even an option. That's a nice carpet, dude. Honestly, it is though. Nice office-looking carpet. But hey, Fnatic at this point, they have really started to bring things back. Significantly better on the T side than maybe the CT side looked towards the end of things. But at the same time, we have seen that EXTREMUM does have a tendency to sometimes just pull out that extra gear, find themselves some utility damage. Binted comes through with a couple of quick kills. The one major saving grace, I suppose, that Fnatic has is the fact that Binted doesn't have an AK in his hands.
Yeah, we've seen that the entries are still coming up pretty evenly, I think, between these two teams. So Binted kind of wreak havoc on that T side. We're getting this, I think, that same level of success from Brolan. You've seen him very targeted towards B.
That's a peek coming in. Brolan punishes.
Yeah, really prepared for the boost. Something that they ran on their own CT side as well, was having that boost, jumping on the half wall as well. That is dialed in. Well able to get away with the rifle, primary concern. I do wonder whether they're going to try and move towards a gamble stack as well, because they've got these two rifles on tow, and we're seeing that rotation come in. Azure reinforcing with his teammates. So if Fnatic play their cards right, they could find themselves into an open site.
EXTREMUM are still playing this really well, though. This is the economic balance I like to see. You know, save when it's, or set up for a save in situations which look lost, but you know, for some forced buys here and there, some half buys here and there, it's not like they're afraid of investment. They're not afraid to commit. JW, meanwhile, browsing about, will be brought down. That's another AK that can be picked up, and now maybe that can go to Binted, and we know what a beast he can be with that one. Honestly, not an unsuccessful round for the CT side. It's quite respectable even.
Yeah, about what you could expect to get from this. You know, you go for a little bit of a gimmicky play to start it off. It doesn't work out, so you just hedge your bets and well, it quits where you need to. Small detail that I almost feel like is, it's an ideal world type of scenario, but Azure maybe giving the rifle over to a teammate where if he gets that kill, it's maybe not as easily read. One of the problems is that they did spot out that M4 over towards B,
yeah.
And well, yeah. Either way, it's very nitpicky, and I doubt it would have made a difference anyway. Fnatic were already making inroads towards that B bomb site anyway, and so they've closed in on that gap. The 3-round discrepancy now made 2. We saw how back and forth it was when they were fighting for the lead in the first half. Fnatic looking to tie things up, maybe put it back into that state of flow.
I mean, Fnatic have entered that state of flow, though, that's for sure. Brolan's been really stepping up. Hasn't had the best of series, I would say. The first map was pretty good from him. After that, not so much. Even Jorginho has been a little bit slower, but Golden, you can see that high headshot rate coming in. And that's one thing that I will say is that it can be deceptive, a deceptive statistic. But I'm going to hold that point for now. Is there anyone on the EXTREMUM side? Okay, but yeah, so it's a bit of a deceptive statistic because one thing that you'll notice very quickly with low fragging players is that they can't get the kill in the spray. So most of the kills they will have are when they can just get an instant headshot. It's not about winning the aim duel or so. And, you know, Golden's a pretty crispy boy. You know, he's got some very nice aim as well. I don't want to take away from that, but it can be a slightly more impressive stat than what it actually means.
Well, some smokes exchange over towards B. Trying to keep him guessing. Extremer kept busy. There's 3 players at that B bomb site. Grabbed that up, forced off the angle. Tags would have been audible. Fortunate it doesn't spread additionally. Takes back into the cubby, and he's actually caught in transition, but he hits the headshot.
That's a big one to find as well. A flashbang to keep them at bay. A smoke as well that can cover his tracks. He is completely safe, but no. Waits a while longer. Brolin at least is caught making a mistake, where Azir can find him with the Molotov in his hands. Jaquinho will correct that mistake and keep things in their favor, and Scrims will assist him in doing just that. 14th round will be still very far away from EXTREMUM. Even if they looked like they had managed to find a couple of nice angles, Gratisfaction not finding the second kill is criminal.
They've been doing such a good job of entering into these bomb sites. And recognizing as well, you know, that front side smoke, identifying exactly where they have to clear out. I mean, it's simple stuff, but they're executing it perfectly. Even the chance that Gratisfaction was given, you know, forced him into a position where he was pretty much trapped. It's getting scarier and scarier. It felt as though this game was moving towards a bit more of a one-sided affair. It felt like EXTREMUM were getting everything they wanted when they came into this into the second half, and they got off to a good start. Now Fnatic are on a hot spree, 6 in a row. And only a couple shy from really just breaking bank, that bank that EXTREMUM have kind of sat on a little bit. You know, they've been a bit conservative in some of the decision making they've made on the CT side, so they have some additional cash in the coffers. Gratisfaction looking for the opening, down bottom B, but he'll miss out on the chance.
And now he's re-peeking into it. That's a headshot, Brolin. That is overkill on him. Grant this time gets the better of him. Has a good damage, but not quite the kill. It even goes out. If that was chucked overhead, it could have been one, but hey, one can dream. Crims 12 HP on him. Jaquinho is very low as well, so instead of them being the entries onto the sides, which has been the case this time, it has to be the others, but Jaquinho still good to go. Lias playing from the back of the bomb side, inside the pit. That's where JW has been finding the better of him many times over. A spam to see if there's anyone there. Good nade, but not quite clipping. JW, who's now managed to find his way onto the railing. As I thought he'd cleared it out, but JW, tricky as can be.
Oh, no, the archers are opened up once again. 40 seconds left here for Fnatic, and this gap has been noted. The Molotov additionally that they can pick up, they could wrap their way in. Looks denying so much information, and JW still hasn't given up much of the game.
Vintet's got to step up overhead. He doesn't get even one. That is inexcusable. Lias will get one, sure, but he's fighting a way back to a 2 versus 2, but his teammates are so far from him. He's got a flashbang, maybe that can help, but Crims and Golden are both low. Here comes Gret. He's only got an AWP, but a Molotov could be the difference maker. If he can chuck it into the bomb side, that'd be big, but Lias now position reveal. Smoke deployed. Tease hidden completely, but Gratisfaction is at least able to bring it back to a 2v1. They've both done the heavy lifting. Golden, what a flashbang. That's so well placed. Just high enough to be able to catch him out, and they'll be able to get the defuse. A 2 versus 4. Wow, what a play from Lias.
Yeah, Lias looked like he was going to get dropped in on, especially JW tried to take a different angle, where sometimes those short side pit players are going to be looking at from behind just for the apps drop. He tries to take a sort of a perpendicular angle instead, but Lias adjusts in time. And this was EXTREMUM. Yeah, they got the opening pick, but then it became so much more feasible there for Fnatic. But it was that unseen element. The fact that Lias stayed alive for so long makes a world of a difference and finally breaks the streak.
And maybe that could be the situation which Fnatic just wasn't quite ready for. Losing out a 4v2 again, man. The mental should be good for this team. They've got some great veterans. Even Brolin is practically a CS veteran by now.
Mm-hmm.
Great in-game leader in Golden as well. We've seen him do so much, but with all these troubles they've been having, you don't know what is going to be the round that breaks their mental. And JW, a lot of these kills he's having, a lot of these kills Crims is having, it all comes down to out-positioning. Can they get it consistently afterwards? Bintet, ready for a peek outwards. He's instead given a boost to Gratisfaction. Grenade won't do too much damage, neither will the second even. And Liaz is contesting JW directly, crouched away, dodging all the bullets.
You can understand why they want to take a different poise towards the apartments. You've seen how dangerous JW's been in this position. How tricky. With the fancy footwork. Ultimately going to end up back in a more passive stead. With a minute left, you know, Fnatic can take control of this portion of the map. Again, likely to throw a little bit of util, maybe, towards that B bomb site should they hesitate. No, they actually want to go quick with this one. Azur, the flash is in, and he's going to line up at least the first. Not good for a second, though.
Bro,
1 HP.
Only 1 HP, man. Again, it seems like Fnatic are just getting the 1 HP every time they need it. Liaz and Jacob can't get a jump. Jacob leaves Liaz alone, and Liaz says, I'm not contributing this time. This time it's all up to Bintet and Grat. 2 smokes, a flashbang, and a whole lot of T's to kill. Tall order. They're climbing the ladder upwards and decide, you know what, maybe it's just not worth it. We'll back off. But again, man, Brolin on 1 HP, dude. We saw Golden earlier.
Yeah.
That was a swing round as well. Now it's Brolin. It's just, it doesn't get closer than that.
Yeah, it could have been 2 kills. Made it easier for that pit player to go for the peak. Yeah, it changes the dynamic of the round so drastically. And Brolin should be able to survive as well. So, hey, 3 up, 13-4. And once again, we have to see EXTREMUM save once more. This A bomb site has been hectic. Constant. Success, it feels like, from Fnatic in getting the entry frags. And they've been fairly dynamic about how they've been approaching it as well. You know, they've applied short side pressure. They've been putting the arch side player in such a weird position where if he doesn't fight, suddenly those archers are exposed, and then you have to worry about the B bomb site, potential flanks from the library. They were put in that position before, so the change has been made. The flash plays are there, but unless you're getting that success where you do miss out on the multi-kill in that particular round, then you're just not going to get enough impact from the players in the site unless they come up with multi-frags that are kind of less set up.
And Fnatic, they know they're so close, man. Their face is completely zoned in at this point, and Bintet's really been cooling down, Michael. Gratisfaction had his moments, but not really the same kind of performance that we'd like to see. 2 players aggressive in apartments from the CTs. They want to punish JW. The Wonder Child, however, has decided to not contest for now. 2 players in apartments, 1 from short, so you've effectively got a third potentially who can come in from boiler should the need arise. Boosted up. Oh, Brolin. What a kill.
And you can see they've immediately called for a rotation back in. That aggressive play into the apartments didn't work out. The molly towards the deep side of apartments as well was part of the reason that this broke down. Rat's still hovering, though. It does make a scope noise, so they should be in audible range to hear that one. He's hovering towards middle, and he's actually going to find Grat.
Massive, absolutely massive. He's going for 4 golden again. This should be 14-14 right here, Michael. Those 2 kills should have just finished any conversation we're having. If EXTREMUM win this, I can't see them winning this in regulation. It feels so difficult.
Oh, man. It's just A every time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even with them getting that kill on Ventet, it's not as if they've been sort of tempted into the other side. When they're finding as much success as that, why would you? Brolan even preventing an additional saved weapon.
Azza should be dead as well.
Yeah, they're
They
coming
don't have
for him.
money. They won't have an AWP in the next round. Azza, if he dies over here, I mean, he's been spotted already. Molotovs, there, he's all flying around. Brolan, the Punisher, 3 kills to his name. And he is able to shut him down. Now comes out the tough one for EXTREMUM. Do you half-bind? Do you save? What are you doing? They're going for the full. Liaz will be dropping an AWP over to Gratisfaction, and M4 and Kevlar are his only friends. Azur, Binted, both on inferior weaponry.
And I'm almost surprised we haven't seen EXTREMUM try and get more control of Banana. They've been giving it up fairly frequently. They've thrown utility that direction, but not really fought for it. Oh, run boost in for Gratisfaction, but the nade combo!
Okay, so 1 HP only works for fnatic. That makes sense.
It's a contingency plan.
Oh, Brolan's just
dear.
another one. Fair man. Banana control completely forfeited. EXTREMUM, they're forfeiting the round already. They know it's gone. The question is, what way is it going to go? Are we going to get to save 3 weapons, or are we going to go out with our behinds handed to us? I mean, look at fnatic, Michael. They've set up a line. It's a barrier. And not moving.
Yeah.
I dare you to rotate through aggressively. I dare you. Gamble. Go ahead, do it. We don't care. Now splitting up. Smoke's out as well. Rotation from EXTREMUM suggests that they'd like to contest, but Brolan is already headed inside. Bintet, the flashbang will be dodged. Brolan is still going. Brolan is fragging. Brolan is killing. And he will not stop. Not tonight. Not today. Liaz will not get the better of JW either. And now JW again, man. He's just so good. He's just got his number. JW has not lost these duels in apartments seemingly ever. EXTREMUM are on their last limbs.
I mean, what do you do? Brolan dominating Banana. JW dominating the apartments. Either which way you go about it, those are 2 crucial positions to hold on to. You kind of want one or the other, but if you're losing both and you're not holding on to the bomb sites on the actual executes, now just feeling well good about themselves, and Jaquinho even saving Brolan's life. He could have been dead to rights, instead the nade finishing off the job. You could see they're cheating rotations back over towards A because they know fnatic just love this bomb site.
3 players from fnatic in mid need to be very careful about whether they're headed to arches or not, because this is going to be Gratisfaction burning. His position is known. JW again on the one-way smoke. Liaz back in pit. Utility still aplenty to force him out. Gratisfaction is hoping to maybe use the smoke to a bit of a one-way himself, but nades are just flying through. Grant is visible. JW's got the kill. Short trade is good from Liaz, but there's still plenty of time for fnatic to turn. They're waiting. Jaquinho knows they're going to get aggressive. He sees it. Bintet's gone. A smoke also picked up so they can block off Moto, and indeed they've already done. They'll be walking through it soon. Liaz alone on this bomb site. He's given heroics before. Will this be another round of something similar? Azur from behind. Liaz is down. Golden to deliver death, and Azur with only an MP9. EXTREMUM fighting for their way back into it. Azur is showing himself, gets the first. Jaquinho now with an AWP alone. Will finish it off. 16th round for fnatic. It is labored. It is difficult. It is long. But it is a win for the Swedes.
And what a way to do it. They were behind for most of this at the start of this half, and then they started clawing it back. They got those 6 rounds in a row, and there was only that one hiccup that interrupts this, potentially that 10-round streak. Instead, they were stopped slightly short, that one bump, but it wasn't enough to force them into a situation where we have to fight for an overtime. What a great game between these 2 teams, because you could see that Fnatic were really looking for opportunities. They were looking for changes, solutions to the problems that they were having. And then you just see JW and Brolan step up to the table. Interesting.
Oopsies.
Yep, I believe I'm frozen as well.
Oh, well, I mean, you know what? We're going to go to a bracket while we fix that very quickly so we can show exactly what is going on over here. So we've, of course, had Fnatic coming through. Earlier on today, EPG Family did beat out Ents. Up next, we've got Spirit versus Forza coming in just a few minutes. And afterwards, of course, Furia and Sinners will be going up head-to-head. Michael, we've come through. Fnatic has struggled their way forward. They're up against EPG up next. Do you have any thoughts for that one?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think EPG just looked cleaner. It always felt like when we were watching them earlier in the day, they had a read on their opponent, and I expect that same level of prep is going to come into the Fnatic game. It's going to be a really rough road for Fnatic for sure. And,
you know, with that being done and dusted, Fnatic, they deserve a bit of a break. I'm sure they've got a lot to go back to the drawing board. It wasn't clean. It wasn't easy. It was definitely incredibly messy. But JW, hats off to him. One of the main driving forces for being able to take them through. Definitely my MVP of the series from Fnatic. With that being said, though, we're going to have to go to a bit of a break. When we're back, though, it won't be us, and it also won't be Fnatic. It'll actually be Spirit versus Forza for the CIS Derby. Make sure you tune in for that one. It'll be absolutely fantastic.